Good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mindset Monday. I am happy to be here, and I'm happy that you are joining me, whether you're joining me live or you are logging in at a later date. I'm just happy that you stopped by. I wanted to start today off by saying Happy New Year. This is the first time I've been on since the new year. But I also want to just take a minute and throw out a message again to my friends and connections in Los Angeles and hoping that they're safe and knowing again that I'm here should anybody need me for anything. So sending love and light and safety to my friends in LA. Sam, I hope you're doing okay, holding down the fort in Los Angeles. Um, it's good to have you guys logging in. Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you guys. Happy New Year. And welcome to Mindset Monday, first one of the year. And I'm hoping it's poignant because my message today is F New Year's resolutions. I wasn't planning on saying that, but I want to talk about how resolutions don't work. And I want to talk about what does work. And I'm speaking from not only statistics, right, and stats, but I'm speaking from my own experience as just this human walking around trying to make my way in the world. And I'm also speaking from the experience of being a business coach. Um, when I see my clients setting these big lofty goals, and whether you want to talk about big lofty goals or you want to talk about resolutions, personally, professionally, they just don't work. And so I want you guys to thrive in 25, and I want to thrive in 25. So it's like, how do we need to organize our mind and get our mind right, so we don't feel overwhelmed with these big ideas that we feel that we have to accomplish, or if we don't, or if it drops off in a month or two, that we feel like failures. I'm just not about that. So, um, one reason that resolutions fail statistically is 80% of resolutions fail by mid February. That's like a month from now. So if you set up these lofty goals by mid February, maybe you'll be the 20%, but maybe you'll fall into the 80%. I usually am in the 80% personally. Okay. And so drop me a yes in the comments if you've ever felt this, that you set some lofty resolution and by February you were like, what was that again? Throw me a comment in the post and let me know if you are feeling this conversation. So the power of consistency is what I want to talk about today. And I think if you are one of my coaching clients, you would probably um, say, yeah, this is what we talk about all the time, that it's these small actionable steps that are going to get you to where you want to be. And sometimes the steps are bigger than others. And sometimes the steps that you're taking to get you to what you want your goal to be are smaller. Sometimes you get there faster and sometimes you get there slower. But my message today isn't how fast you get to your goal. It's that every day you are doing one thing or two things or five things to get to where you want to be. It is not going to happen overnight. It is a process. And as I tell you that, I also tell myself that, because don't think that I'm sitting here not wanting my goals and my dreams and my hopes to manifest overnight, because I'm human and we all do. But I also know that that's not how it works, right? So I want to talk about doing the small intentional actions that get you to where you want to be. And that takes patience and it takes commitment, because resolutions are usually made and born out of this motivation to see something different than what you currently have. Motivation, the problem with motivation, and I don't know, maybe you guys feel differently, you can let me know. Motivation fluctuates. I might feel super motivated one day and not motivated at all the next day. So does that mean if my big resolution is anchored in motivation alone, that the day that I'm, or the week or the month that I'm not feeling motivated, I'm not doing anything towards my goal? So, I mean, for those of you that hear me complaining about my swimming, I could use this as an example. So, I swim at least 3 days a week. 3 days a week is my minimum that I go swimming. And I live in California, and there's not a lot of indoor pools in California, yet, unbeknownst to many people, it does get cold here. So, in the mornings right now, sometimes it's 43 degrees. I went to the gym the other day and I had the little snowflake on my temperature gauge in my car that said 38 degrees. So if I'm thinking like I want to go swimming and I'm motivated 3 times a week or 5 times a week, and that like my goal is to just go swimming and it's based out of motivation, when I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, which is the time I work out, am I going to want to leave my house, get out of my warm bed, know that it's 38 to 45 degrees in the winter in the morning, to get into a body of water? You know, no. My motivation will not carry me at 5:30 in the morning to do that. But what will carry me, and this is something that my trainer helped me with, I was like, I'm having such a hard time getting up on my swim days, because who wants to jump in, go outside where it's cold, get into the water, which is in the 70s, high 70s, which, or maybe it's 80, which still does not feel that warm when it's that cold out. And he said, the only thing I need you to do is get up and put your bathing suit on. That's it. And after you put your bathing suit on, put your swim jacket on. And after that, make your coffee and get in the car and drive to the gym. And that was a huge shift for me, because it wasn't about me wanting to, yes, I want to get in better shape. Yes, I need to do that for movement and mobility. But the actionable step here was to get up and put on my bathing suit. It was to put on my bathing suit, then put my swim coat on, get my keys, get my coffee, and get in the car. If that's what I focus on, which are those actionable items, and that's it, I'm not going to get to the gym and not go swimming. I'm going to get into that friggin' cold water. And I know that after 2 laps, I'm going to be warmed up and I'm going to be moving, right? But if I just wake up and think about the pool, I'm not motivated. But if I get up and just put on the bathing suit and do the actionable steps, it's a different story. And I get there 3 days a week, no matter what, sometimes 4. So when I'm working with my coaching clients, what I hear a lot is, when we're talking about different strategies, is I've done that before. I've tried that before. Okay, well, how did it go for you? So you tried it. Tell me about it. What was it? What was the thing you were working on? And how come you're not doing it now? Oh, well, I got really motivated by this class I went to. And so we launched it, and then there was never any follow-up. And then ... So our goals cannot be rooted in motivation. And if we look at our teams, if we have a big kickoff meeting at the beginning of the year, which I'm sure a lot of companies are having, whether you're in the hair industry or not, is your staff are going to leave feeling motivated. And the motivation will give you a temporary boost. It will give you sometimes a week-long boost, sometimes a day boost, sometimes a month boost, but it's not going to give you, your motivation is not going to give you the year-long boost you need. But the actionable steps, the actionable behaviors that you take are going to give you that goal that you are looking for. So I'm looking here in my comments. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you. Sam Burns. Good to see you. I'm glad this is resonating with you. Anna, yeah, one thing at a time. To get up and just put on your gym clothes, right? It gets you to the gym. So throw more comments in if you guys are relating to this, because this kind of stuff, even in our personal life, relates to our business. It's what are the actionable items? And I want to talk about a couple of things um, that come to mind when I'm thinking about this. So one of the things that I shared with you was, I'm working with my clients and we come up with some ideas and strategies to start building into the repertoire of business, day-to-day business. And I keep hearing this comment, oh, we've done that before, but then it falls off the cliff because you yourself as a leader lost your motivation. You don't have the luxury to lose your motivation as a leader. Your company is a reflection of how the leaders show up. You don't have the luxury to lose your motivation. So if you rely only on feeling great, you're going to have a roller coaster business. I want you to rely on the systems that you build into your day every day, that you get up and you put your clothes on, and putting those gym clothes on then elicit you then going to the gym, or in my case to the pool, and every other day it's to go work out in the gym. For our businesses, I could even throw out there a couple of things like, looking at your P&Ls every single month. That should be a monthly job that you have, is looking at your P&Ls. But what should be a daily and weekly job is organizing your budgets. So when you're ordering based on sales, not ordering based on feeling. And if you are taking your numbers into consideration when you're doing your ordering and your coaching with your team, when you get your financials mid-month, the following month, it's not a big surprise because, excuse me, you've been taking the actionable steps every single day or week in your business to give you exactly what you planned out to be. It's like, at the beginning of the year, I'm not going to lie, I always have this goal to lose weight. It's just like, oh God, and instead of my goal to lose weight this year, which is my whole life, my goal is tracking every day. The behavior for me is tracking the amount of days I work out, which I feel like I have pretty good. I have a whole accountability system for my workouts. And for my food, it's tracking everything and sending it to my new accountability group that are also doing the same thing. And if I'm tracking and I know I'm getting the nutrients that I need and I'm moving my body, those are the actionable steps I need to worry about, and I don't need to worry about a scale. And so again, it goes back to these actionable steps. And I'm going to go back to, for our business, looking at our benchmarks. And when we look at our benchmarks, and I've been saying this for, I'm going to say, over 30 years, our benchmarks are a function of our behavior. A behavior is an actionable step. So our metrics, be it the scale, be it our benchmarks, are a gauge of the behaviors that we choose to do or not do to get us to where we're going. Couple of examples. I remember when we first opened our third location here in San Diego, and Andre, who has been with us, I don't know, I'm going to say 18 years, who's still with the company, even though I don't own the company anymore. But when we opened our third location, and I use this as an example all the time, he came from our first location to help us open our third location. He's a hair cutter, super busy, amazing guy. And I will never forget when he was building his business, and this was a decade ago, and he still does it. He's so busy. He, every day on his break or on his lunch or breaks, he would go out, and his actionable step was to talk to 3 to 5 people out in the courtyard, and he'd always go out at lunch when it was busy, out in the courtyard to introduce himself and hand his cards out. This was, he did it every day. He built his business going out. I know it sounds crazy, right? Going out into the courtyard every day. And he's like, I'm going to hand my cards out to 3 to 5 people every day. It doesn't matter. And I swear to God, at least 50% of the time, he's either in the courtyard doing a full consultation, bringing a client in to do a consultation at his station, or bringing somebody in to schedule an appointment. At least 50% of the days. He went to our third location, which was 20 minutes away, at least, from where he worked. Some of his clients followed and some of them didn't. But he built his business on going out and consistency is our key word here, consistently practicing those actionable steps, which created a super busy book. When he moved back to the other location, he did the same thing. He still does it. He brings the new kids out to teach them how to go and approach people. So I'm not saying that's your thing or that's something that you're going to tell one of your really shy stylists to do, but what is their thing going to be? And whatever the thing is going to be, it has to be repeated day in and day out. When we coach our staff on their success for the year, it's coaching them on the behaviors that are going to get them to this said goal that they have for their life. When you set up a coaching program for your team internally, is that consistent that they can count on you to have consistent coaching month over month? Now, what you talk about in the coaching sessions might change, but is it set up on your calendar already that on these dates are the dates through the course of my year that I'm going to set up to coach my team on their behaviors? For those of you that have followed me for a while, know that I use this as an example often. You know, people say, I really suck at retail. And what does that even mean? Like, my retail numbers are low, so I suck at retail. How many people have heard that? Throw me a comment in the feed. How many people have heard their team say that, or how many people out there have said that? I know you have. I know those yeses, me, are going to start rolling in. You've heard it before. And nobody sucks at retail. What is retail? Retail are things you sell. It's retailing. What you might suck at are the conversations that actually help your client to create their dream look. You might suck at that, because retailing is a function of meeting somebody's needs. It's a function of a conversation. Retailing isn't, I'm up there and at a makeup counter and people are coming in and just telling me what they need, or they're going into a boutique and I work at that boutique and I'm retailing because people are coming in to buy retail. Our business is different. I don't want to hear you say you suck at retail or you suck at pre-booking, or you're saying that because your metrics are low. It doesn't mean you're not good at it. It means you are not practicing consistently the behaviors day in and day out that then, by virtue of the conversation that helps your client get what they need and want out of their look, by virtue of the conversation, your metrics will go up. And then the action of follow-up, which is I walk my client to the front, pull the things I used on them so that they know what they can use at home to hit their goals of their image that you guys talked about, hopefully in the consultation. So nobody sucks at retail. You could say to yourself, I'm just not engaging in the intentional behaviors that then give me consistently the behaviors that give me consistent results. If you can cop to that and say, I'm not doing the behavior, instead of the cop out that I suck at this, just say, I'm not doing the behavior. Because when we can step up and take accountability and say, I'm not doing the behavior, you can then have this opening that's called an option that says, I can start doing the behavior instead of like just chalking it up, throwing out the towel and saying, I suck at it. I'm not doing it consistently day in and day out. So, what would it take for my behavior to change to do it consistently day in and day out? If you did that and stopped obsessing on the metrics and how good or bad you are at it, and started really obsessing on how good you are or how much you want to improve on the conversation to help your client, your metrics will automatically change. So stop selling, stop focusing on the word pre-booking and start engaging in, if you want your hair or skin or body to feel, look a certain way, then this is the behavior that I need to engage in to help you. This is what your client's going to have to do, which is a behavior at home, in order to get what you did with them or on them, right? Sam, what would it take for the behavior to change? Yeah, I mean, step one for a behavior to change is to say, I'm not doing it, but I want to see my metric change. I want to see something different than what I've been seeing. And so I'm willing to engage in a behavior change. When we're coaching our team, it may be interesting to say, if someone's like, well, I suck at that. I don't think you do. I just don't see you doing it. Are you willing to change a behavior to get a different result? I think that's the question. Instead of, I need you to sell more, I need you to pre-book more. The conversation becomes, when we're talking to people, is, what are you willing to do that's different to get you a different result? Because it's all behavior driven. I'll throw another example into the mix. I'm gonna be real vulnerable here. So for those of you that follow me, know that I started a new business. So I'm doing real estate also. I have two businesses. I have my consulting business and I have my new real estate business that I decided, as I come upon my 60th time, I'm not there yet, but I'm almost there next month, around the sun. I only want to play in the sandboxes that make me happy. And those two things are my consulting business, and I love real estate, which I've always loved. So I decided, why not get into real estate? It's one thing to study and go to school and get your license, just like hair. And it's another thing to build your book. So how is it that one, like me, starting a brand new business that I have not been in before, how am I going to build my business, my new business, in a business that I haven't been in before? There are proven, actionable steps to take to build your business. I might think to myself, really? Is that what I'm going to be doing? But if these are proven methods, I'm going to do it. I have sitting on my desk today cards. I'm going to be writing out a certain amount of cards, and every day I'm going to 10 houses to introduce myself to the neighbors. Yeah, that's my actionable step. My other actionable step, and I think you guys can relate to this, and whether it's in the hair business, my consulting business, or real estate business, what is this isn't pigeonhole just a hair, is your social media feed. People do all or nothing. What if you just said, I'm going to post 2 times a week, and consistently you posted 2 times a week? And that post was meaningful and it told a story. Posts take a long time. Social media takes a long time. So if you can do once a week and you make that post meaningful, great. If you can do it 2 times a week, great. I will throw out there for social media, because I've been doing so much of it with my consulting business and now my real estate business, is if you can get an app or a portal or a platform to help you roll stuff out in a more streamlined way. Like for me, I use a platform called Planoly, Planoly, Planoly. And I spend probably 1 8 hour day every 2 weeks, 4 hours on my real estate now and 4 on my consulting, to plan my posts out for 2 weeks. So it takes me probably 1 8 hour day to plan out 2 weeks worth of posts. And that's like maybe 3 or 4 posts a week in each company. So I toggle between Canva and I build all of my images, and then I use Chat GPT to get across the message that I want to get, and then I put it in a planner. So for me, that works because every day I'm not thinking, oh, it's a Tuesday and a Thursday and I need to sit down. And so I sit down in my day that's planned so that I can plan out. I consistently have to do that. Now, for my Mindset Mondays, I have found myself struggling to get here every single Monday. I'm sure you guys are like, is she going to be on today? So my commitment for 25 is twice a month. It's too much for me to get here and get on every single week anymore. I'll be doing a Mindset Monday. I'm not calling it that. It might be Real TEA. Doing a live though for my real estate business, and I'll be doing one for this business. But those are small actionable steps that I can take that keep me out of feeling overwhelmed. When we get overwhelmed, we get paralyzed. And when we get paralyzed, we don't do anything. I was just working with a client that is not in the hair business. She has a decorating business and she wants to really move into promoting her business. And she's just overwhelmed because of this class she needs to get through, the platform she needs to figure out to get everything going, and what the name is going to be. So it's small, actionable steps that we worked on. How many days a week can you work on the class? Well, I think I can carve out an hour a day. Great. Can you do that 3 days a week? For 100%. Okay. And then the other 2 days, can you work on this mood board platform? Yeah. Okay. So that's it. That's it. We can worry about a name later. We could worry about your social media and advertising launch later. That is not the important thing. Are the small actionable steps now to get you to the next step. So what are those steps for you? Where do you want to be? And setting your goals are powerful. Setting resolutions to upend who you are and what your life looks like to like this grand thing don't work. But keep going to get to a better place, a higher place, a more comfortable place, a healthier place, whatever that is for you. Break it down and say, what are the things that I can do today? What are the actions I can build into my life to create the life that I want? So as I started, which was F resolutions, and bring on the consistent actionable behaviors that are going to bring you closer to where you want to be, is what I want to leave you guys with. So throw me some comments in the feed and let me know, what are your small actionable steps that are going to get you closer to your goals? And if you're a leader and you have staff that work under you, what are you going to do to help your staff reach their goals by taking small actionable steps that get you and your team closer to where you want to be? What are those steps? And will frustration happen along the way? Maybe it'll happen. Will you maybe have to pivot because the path you're on isn't working and maybe you need to adjust something? Don't get wrecked over it. Just pivot and say, you know what? I've been doing this for 3 months. Maybe I'm not getting the results that I want, or maybe my results are coming over here stronger. Maybe you pick 3 things that you can do and do them consistently, measure them with metrics, and see which ones are giving you the biggest bang for your time, money, and energy. And you do more of that. That's what life is anyway, right? It's always looking at what is getting me on that path to a higher level of finances, a higher level of comfort, better relationships. Let me do more of that. So, look, I am so grateful for you guys, for all of your participation today. I just love it. Thank you so much for not only coming to play, but also just your participation. It just like makes me so happy. Um, Sam, you loved what part you loved in this is as a leader, you don't have the luxury to not be motivated. Yeah, that could be my closing statement today, Sam. It doesn't matter how you feel as a leader, you need to show up and get the job done, right? So we are setting an example for our kids, we're setting an example for our staff. I'm trying to set an example for a 16-year-old over here on when things get super stressful, how to manage your stress. So, how we show up as a leader, as a parent, as a community leader is setting an example for the people that are around us, right? So, hey, Diego, I love seeing you. Consistency is one of your words for 25 and beyond. Yeah. I mean, those consistent, actionable behaviors are going to get us to where we want to be. So, that said, I want to wish you guys such a happy new year. I will be posting the dates that I'll be on, on my Carrie Davis Consulting will be twice a month. And then I'm going to start taking the plunge and doing a live on my real estate page, which is Carrie Davis Duffy. And on Instagram, it's Carrie Davis _ realtor. So I'm going to be doing a live there too about life stuff. Moving forward, how do we go from one thing to the next? So I really feel there's a lot of consistency in any business. It doesn't matter what business we're in. We have to do the same thing in order to have the success that we want. So you guys have a great couple weeks. I'll post my next dates in here. I'm going to do that today so you can see when I'll be on. And listen, I can't wait to see you again. If you need anything, if you need support this year, if you're here and you're listening, you know how to get in touch with me. So DM me, let me know how I can support you. Love you guys. Mwah. Have a good one. Ciao, ciao.